Oh, thanks for reminding me that. Yeah, that's nice. Good. I actually started directly. Okay, good. So, anyway, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And we were discussing chapter 9. And in that, we have already covered 9 verses. So, in the previous verse, we actually saw that how all this work, what work Krishna has actually, the Vedic scriptures say that natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, there is no work for Krishna. But then there is a lot of work that is happening still. What is that work? The work is about the creation, the maintenance, and the destruction. So all this work is actually being done under the supervision of the Lord. So, Krishna, he said that Udasina, he used a very interesting word here. Udasina means I'm neutral. Although all this creation, maintenance, and destruction, everything is taking place, but Udasina, I'm neutral to all these things. So, this is very important thing to know. So, many people they think that okay, if the Lord is neutral and if he is not in actually involved in the creation and the maintenance and destruction, then who is actually creating everything? So then after thinking so-called as buddhijeevis, so they think that it is all done by material nature, prakriti. You know, many people are very, very fond of Prakriti. They appreciate nature, especially when they go to some nice tourist place and some places where the natural beauty is so wonderful. They get mesmerized, and especially then with the backup of all the knowledge that they have from Charles Darwin of evolution theory and Big Bang theory, with all these things, they believe that nature is creating everything. So the question comes now is, if nature is creating everything, then whose nature it is? Because I have my nature, you have your nature, everybody has their own nature. Then if we are talking about this nature which is creating everything, then whose nature is that? It should belong to someone, right? So that nature is belonging to the Lord. That nature belongs to the Lord. It's extremely important to know this. And to clarify this itself, Krishna, although he is Udasina, he is not directly involved in any of the creation or destruction or maintenance, he still executes all these things. How? Through the medium of the Prakriti. So that let us understand in the next verse. So Dave, you can unmute yourself. Let us chant the next verse, that is verse number 10. It's a very, very important verse, and I think you can make a note of it and you can memorize this particular verse. In the series of shlokas that you are supposed to actually by heart. So this is one of them. It's very important shloka. So let us chant this. मया दक्षेण प्रकृतिः
मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः
सूयते सचराचरम्
सूयते सचराचरम्
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
Okay, let's do this once again. मया दक्षेण प्रकृतिः
मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः
सूयते सचराचरम्
सूयते सचराचरम्
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Hare Krishna.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. So you see, this is so important here. Krishna is saying now that this nature, material nature, Prakriti, we call this Prakriti is actually Maya. It is my Prakriti. See, just see now how beautifully he is saying it is Maya Prakriti. It is not anybody else's Prakriti. Krishna is saying, just like you have your nature, I also have my nature, and this Prakriti belongs to me. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Adhyakshena. Adhyaksha means he is Adhipati. Who is the Adhipati? The Lord Krishna is the Adhipati of this Prakriti. So, Adhyaksha has another meaning also. Adhyaksha, Aksha. Aksha means you know that it senses. The five senses that we have are also senses are also called as Aksha. That's why Pratyaksha Pramana. We say no Pratyaksha Pramana, Pratyaksha. Here Adhyaksha. Adhyaksha means Adi Aksha. So Adhyaksha also means one who knows everything about Prakriti is Adhyakshena. So Adhyakshena, his Adhipati, at the same time, he's also knowing everything about the material nature. Everything about the material nature, the minute to the infinite, everything that is within this material nature is known to the Supreme Lord. This is the power of Supreme Lord. That's why May Adhyakshena. Many times we have so many things in our home. After few years, we don't even remember what is there, what is not there. We forget. So we may be sometime adhipatis of certain things, but over a period of time, we cannot actually monitor everything that we have at home. We forget. We tend to forget. So similarly, should not think that Lord is also like us. No, Lord is all knowing everything at all the times. That's why Maya Adhyakshena, he's Adhipati. Adhipati means he's the controller. At the same time, he knows everything about the Prakriti. Suyate sa characharam means he is also the one who creates the moving and the non-moving things. Chara acharam. Chara means that which is moving. Acharam means that which is not moving. Chara. That's why if you say, think about brahmachari, brahmachara. Brahmachari means what? A brahmachari. Chari means he's always moving all the time. Constantly, brahmachari is constantly moving. He is very free to move. Anytime, you're a brahmachari, just take one backpack and you can go anywhere, any trip, anything, no problem. You can just go around. Grahastha. Grahastha means what? Asta. He has to be in one place because he has a lot of baggage. Not just his baggage, he has to have a baggage of his wife, children, everybody. So Grahastha cannot move so easily. Brahmachari can move easily, isn't it? So this is the advantage of being a brahmachari all the time. So there you have an opportunity here to remain brahmachari. Although Hina Mataji will object for that, but I'm just saying. Okay, so lot of this suyate is a chara acharam, chara and achara. Everything is created by me. Just imagine now. This is all created by me. He tu na ne na kaunteya. Oh kaunteya. Just imagine now. All this is Jagat Viparivartate is executed by the Prakriti. This Prakriti is completely controlled by me. So many times people they misunderstand. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also says that aham bija pradapitaha. What does that mean? That forget about this material nature, which is jadavastu. Even the conscious beings are actually created by me. Aham bija pradapitaha. So it is so important. We have not come through some chemical combinations. We are not born out of some chemical combinations. We are actually the children of the Supreme Lord. Aham Bija Pradapita is very compassionately saying that you're all my children. How are we actually created? Prabhupada in the purport says that how just by the glance of the Lord at the material nature, the Mahat Prakriti, the Mahat means it is the summum bonum of all the material energy, Mahat When the Lord Vishnu, he just glances just glances over this material nature, which is one of his energies. Krishna is saying in the translation, Prabhupada says, material nature, Prakriti is one of his energies. So that means he has many, many energies, but one of the energies is this material energy. And when the Lord glances on this material energy, he actually, just by his glance, impregnates the material energy by all the different living entities. And the living entities, they take different shapes and forms and different bodies based on their previous desires and their activities. They take different forms. They get into the 84 lakh species of forms. Just see. So, just by glance, everything is created just by his glance. It is completely agitated. Material nature is agitated and it gets into action and the whole creation takes place. So what happened now? So in one sense, the Lord is not a direct creator. It appears to be like that, and material nature is taking care of everything, the creation. But at the same time, although the Lord is not directly involved, he is ensuring that the creation and everything is taken care. So that is why he's udasina, he's neutral. It is like Prabhupada very nicely gives an example of, you have a smelling power. Your nose has a smelling power and there is a fragrant flower. So now your smelling power of the nose and the fragrance, although you can smell the fragrance of that flower, but the flower itself is not in touch with the smelling power. Both are physically apart, but still you are connected. Because of the smelling power, you're still connected to the flower through the fragrance. Similarly, the Lord, although away from this material nature, he, just by his wonderful Yoga Maya, or more than Yoga Maya, he is Yoga Maishwaram, not Yoga Maya. He is Yoga Maishwaram is such that he is not directly involved in the laborious work of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Everything is taken care by his energy. Maya dakshena prakriti. It is my energy. And it takes care of everything. And this material nature is extremely difficult to overcome. So we are all put into this material nature, this prakriti, because we have independent desires. That's why we are here. So now we have to revive our consciousness and become Krishna consciousness. So although the Lord is extremely powerful and he is taking care of all this creation, destruction, maintenance, everything indirectly. He's extremely powerful, but he does this through the medium of Prakriti. This is how it happens. So he's not directly involved in all this creation, maintenance, and destruction. That's why Krishna is calling himself as Udasina. I have a lot of powers, Arjuna, O Dhananjaya. I have extremely powerful resources, but I will use them accordingly, and I'm the controller of everything. So it's all under my direction, it happens. So this is what Krishna has told in this particular verse. And let us go to the next verse, that is 11th verse, which is also very, very important now. So many people think that, okay, now it is Prakriti which is doing everything. So if Prakriti is doing everything, and why this Lord is coming into this Prakriti, and when he comes into Prakriti, then he may get influenced by the Prakriti. All these kind of thoughts and theories people actually share. There's so many new so-called gurus have come, and they tell people that Rama was a ordinary person, Krishna was an ordinary person. Many mundane things they talk about Supreme Lord Krishna. So to clear their these kind of doubts, Krishna is going to speak very interestingly in the next verse. So, Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the next verse, that is the 11th verse. So, in the 11th verse, let's see what Krishna has to say about all the people who actually deride him. Avajananti mamudha
अवजानन्ति मां मूढा
manushim tanumashritam
मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितम्
param bhavam ajananto
परं भावम् अजानन्तो
भूतमहेश्वरम्.
मामभूता महेश्वरम्.
Once again, avajananti mamudha
अवजानन्ति मामूढा
manushim tanumashritam
मानुषिं तनुमाश्रितम्.
param bhavam ajananto
परं भावम् अजानन्तो
mama bhuta maheshwaram.
मम भूता महेश्वरम्.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. See, Krishna is saying that Moodaha avajananti. They have no understanding of who Krishna is and they deride him. That's why Krishna is saying Moodaha. He's using this word Moodaha, fools. You're all fools. Very strong word Krishna is using here. So, this is they're Moodaha because they do not understand Krishna's transcendental nature. So, what to speak of transcendental nature? These Moodas, they don't even understand the material nature of the Lord. Isn't it so many times big scientists, they are doing so much of research, still they are baffled by seeing the beauty of this material nature. All the different activities that are going on in this material nature, they're just baffled. So, what to speak of transcendental nature? They don't even understand the material nature of the Lord. Many years, still they cannot understand. Now, I was just reading an article yesterday. There was one spacecraft that was left 45 years ago, Voyager 2. 45 years ago it was left into the space, and after 45 years it has gone beyond the solar system, and now somewhere it is entering, they say that now it is entering into the exploration of the universe. I mean, it is 45 years, it is just traveling, going on, and now they are saying that it may start giving us some inputs about the universe. Forget about 45 years. Even if it goes on for thousands of years, they cannot really understand with a small spacecraft what they can understand this whole material nature. Can you understand? So, with this little small toys, from Krishna's perspective, all these spacecrafts and all these different space missions people are going to have these days. Now they want to have create one elevator lift from planet Earth to the space, into the space. So you can go into the space just by using a lift. Japan wants to do that. So you can have a tour of a space by going into the lift, and they are already talking about the future living or experience, or holiday trips to moon, holiday trips to Mars. So all these things are like child's play when it comes to the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says these people are just playing with some toys. Like small children, they play with toys. They take a plane and they go here and there. Oh, it lands somewhere. So they'll land it wherever they want. So like that, these people are just playing with toys. So they're all avajananti mamudaha. Why? Because they are not able to understand the material nature. Now, and when they're so busy in trying to understand the material nature which they cannot understand, there is no time for left for them to understand the transcendental nature. So it's a waste of human form of life. Human form of life actually gives us the chance to understand the transcendental nature. How? When we get in direction with the proper scripture, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, they reveal to us the Lord's transcendental nature. If you understand actually the transcendental nature of the Lord, then understanding material nature becomes very easy. Please understand this. So, if the scientists, when they're trying to so much put efforts in trying to understand the material nature, which they cannot understand anyway, can be made easy if their efforts are directed to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. Because, like I told you, and we have understood previously also, the knowledge is descending knowledge. Even if you want to understand everything around you, this material nature properly, it should come from the Lord. We cannot understand everything on our own. That's why I have given you many times these examples of so many great inventions. The scientists have actually given Nobel laureates Nobel prizes. It's actually through accident. Like I give an example of Benson ring. He saw the Benson ring in the dream. He saw the snakes in hexagonal shape with alternate double bonds. All that was seen in a dream, and then oh my God, he was, oh, this is the actual structure of benzene. Then Thomas Goodyear, I think, or Thomas, not Thomas Goodyear, Goodyear, who actually wanted to make rubber, which is a very soft material, he wanted to make it hard. Accidentally, sulfur fell into it, and it became hard. So that is one. Archimedes, the principle of buoyancy. He went to take bath, and suddenly in the tub he realized that, oh, eureka, eureka! He started jumping out. Okay, this is how it is. So all the sudden inspirations that come are actually coming from the Lord. It's not that they were consciously thinking and they invented. So there are many, many things like this. When they are so much involved, the Lord says, okay, Lelo, take this knowledge. Okay. But now, why is he calling people avajananti mudaha? Muda, because they do not understand the transcendental nature means the Lord has a very special body. His body is Satchidananda Vigraha. Brahma says in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. What is his body made up of? His body is made up of not Panchabhuta. Our body is made up of Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? Krishna's body is not like that. Krishna's body is made up of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means what? Eternity, eternal. His body is never changing. Our body is constantly changing. Every minute it is changing. Every year it is changing. And after a few years, you look at your own picture, you will feel, oh, am I this? I am totally changed. So our own bodies are changing continuously. So our body is asat. It is not sat. So Krishna's body is sat. It is never changing. Always youthful. Very, very beautiful. Chit. It is full of knowledge. Krishna's body is full of knowledge. Jnanamaya, full of knowledge, transcendental knowledge, material knowledge, spiritual knowledge, everything, all knowledge is there. Krishna's body is made up of knowledge. Can you imagine? Our body is full of ignorance, completely of ignorance. We don't know what is happening in so many places around us. Within our own body, we don't know what is happening. Heart is beating, lungs are moving, so much liver is functioning, everything is functioning, but we don't know how they are functioning. So Ajnana. Krishna's body is not like that. Krishna's body is full of knowledge, chit. So our body is achit. Ananda, his body is full of bliss. Constantly he is joyful. Always he is joyful. Full of happiness. And ours is constantly Nirananda. Anytime you see, most of the time there are so many mental disturbances. People are not happy, especially in Kali Yuga. They're not satisfied. And so many enemies are there. Lust, greed, anger, envy, pride. All these different enemies are torturing us all the time. So with all these different things, we are Nirananda. The Lord is not disturbed by lust, greed, anger, envy, pride, nothing of that sort. That's why He's full of joy. So if you want to become joyful, then you have to become free from all this unwanted enemies that we have. So body of the Lord is extremely important to know. His body is transcendental. Now, many people will say, oh, Krishna, when actually he was hit by the arrow of that hunter, on his toe, he died and he left the body. That is just to bewilder such people. Krishna said, okay, you want to think that I am a human being? All right, you think. To make you think like that, I will help you. I will i will ask the hunter to come and he will shoot at me and I will leave the body like a normal human being, because just so that you want to satisfy your false ego that I'm a human being. Okay, I'll satisfy that also. But Krishna's body is not a material body. It is not material body. No matter can disturb, no matter can actually touch Krishna's body. Like nothing can actually destroy our soul. Our soul is, you know, it cannot be burnt, it cannot be made wet, it cannot be dried. Our soul is like that. We have understood in the second chapter. Just like our soul is uh, indestructible, Avinashi, Krishna's body as a whole is Avinashi. It is indestructible. So powerful Krishna's body is. See, it is not an ordinary body. That is why Krishna, what he performed in his childhood, that cannot be performed by anyone. Just imagine Krishna was born in a jail, and when he was born, immediately he took a four-handed form in front of his parents, Vasudeva and Devki. We'll go to the jail when we are going to Vrindavan. So there in the jail, he showed them four-handed form, Chaturbhuja. Have you seen any child? Okay, the nurse brings the child out of the womb and then finish. So child immediately in the hospital, it takes four-handed form. Nothing of that sort. The child will be trying to breathe with difficulty, and then with difficulty, and it'll somehow breathe and it'll continue its life. Krishna's body is not like Krishna's birth is not like that. He comes out a divine form, four-handed form. Zoom will come, and then he's giving darshan to his parents, and all this is happening. That is the transcendental form. Forget about Krishna's birth. Now, in this very Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter, Krishna is going to show that four-handed form to Arjuna. Then he is also going to show the Virata Rupa in the 11th chapter. So, this itself shows that he is not simply some ordinary person. He's going to show Virata Rupa, he's going to show the four-handed form. A small baby, a little boy, a small baby is going to, he kills Putana. So many big lift Govardhan Hill, that too in his little finger of the left hand, not even the right hand, left hand. How this is all possible? Because his body is Satchidananda Vigraha. So he is not a human being. So although Manushim, it is said here, Manushim means he appears like a human being, but he is not a human being. He is completely different from the regular human beings that we see here around us. So that is why this is all confirmed in the Vedic scriptures. The Vedas actually say that Satchid Ananda Rupaya Krishnaya. Oh, my Lord, Supreme Personality of God, I pay my obeisances unto you. You have a body which is full of eternity, which is full of knowledge, and which is full of amazing bliss. That is what it is said. And in Gopala Tapani Upanishad also, it is again said, Tam Ekam Govindam. It is also said, Satchidananda Vigraham. So many instances, like in the Shruti. Shruti means Vedas and Upanishads. They are all Shruti, which are directly emerging from the mouth of Supreme Lord. It is all mentioned that Supreme Lord has a beautiful form. And that beautiful form can also be seen in the form of Vigraha. So when we go to Vrindavan, we will see different forms of the Lord, different forms of the Lord. So many temples we are going to visit. All these different forms are not different from Krishna. So it is Satchidananda Vigraha. So it is not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary person. So so-called scholars and commentators, they think that Krishna, oh, he is just like a small boy, ordinary boy who was born. He was a cowherd. All these people, they may comment like that. But Krishna is a symbol of Satchidananda, Ananda, complete knowledge and bliss. This we have to understand. It's extremely important for us to know that. And he's also controller. He's completely in control of everything. There are so many Ishwaras we see around us. Ishwaras means what? Controller. In a company there is a team leader. He's a controller of few people. Then there is a manager above him. He's a controller of few teams like that. Above them, there will be a vice president, there will be the company CEO, and above them, there is the ministers, and then there is a prime minister, then there is the president. If you see any Ishvara in this material world, is controlled by another Ishvara. But here, the Lord is such a Ishvara that there is no one else to control him. He is the supreme controller. So he is very, very powerful. So this material nature, which is extremely powerful to overcome, We can overcome, we can get across this material nature by surrendering to Krishna, because it is Mama Maya Duratyaya, it is very powerful, but because it is under my control, and if you surrender to me, I can help you get rid of this material nature. This is the word of Krishna. The Mudas cannot understand this. Because they do not understand, they think that Krishna is ordinary person, ordinary man, a human being. They continue to remain in under the control of this material nature. Because how can they exit otherwise? There is no question of their exit from this material nature. Because the only person who can take them out of this material nature is Krishna, and they think that he is a normal human being. So when they think that he is a normal human being, then that thought itself continues, and they continue to remain in this material world because they do not surrender to Krishna. Only when you know that, okay, Krishna is the supreme Lord, that is when you will try to surrender, because you will know that yes, he can take me out of this. But he's a human being, then gone case, you will remain here. So that is why this is so crucial. Please understand, anybody who is actually thinking that Krishna is ordinary person, that means he has no hopes to actually get out of this material world. There is no hope. The only hope is Krishna, and they're thinking that he's a human being. See, this is a problem. See how tricky it is. Just imagine, they are looking for happiness, they are looking for eternity, but they don't want to understand the nature of Krishna, transcendental nature of Krishna. And that is what makes them to be here all the time. So we should become intelligent. We should become intelligent. This human form of life we should utilize, and we should get out of this place. So even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, very beautifully, the sages, when there is in Naimisharanya, when there is a discussion that is going on between Shaunaka Rishi, and they were inquiring, all the sages were inquiring to Shaunaka Rishi, headed by Shuta Goswami and Shaunaka Rishi. There is a very nice verse in the first canto, first chapter. So when they were asking about the activities of Krishna, the rishis, very beautifully it is said there, Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena keshava ati martyani bhagavan gudaha kapata manushaha. I will read the translation. Very nice it is. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balarama, played like a human being. Played like a human being. They were not human being, they played like a human being. And so masked, he performed many superhuman activities, superhuman acts. Krishna's, especially the activities, the wonderful activities that he performed in Mathura and Vrindavan are very, very special. Many, many superhuman things. Killing the big snake, Agasura, and so many demons, the cart demon, many, many demons he has killed there. Small boy, superhuman activities he has performed. Hmm? Then the Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. No human being could perform such wonderful acts that Krishna performed while he was present on this earth. When Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudev and Devaki, he appeared with four-handed form. Just see, it is clearly mentioned here. So his form is not an ordinary form. So people who actually think that he is an ordinary person, he is actually a mudaha. Very strong word it is. Foolish. Oh, you are a fool. Somebody calls us fool, we become sometimes offended. Krishna is directly, you want to take an offense, you take it. But that's the reality. Krishna is directly calling all of us. If you don't understand my transcendental nature, you are a mudaha. Mudaha. So this there is a constant battle between the Vaishnavas and many impersonalists, Mayavadis. Constantly, this is going on. They say that Krishna is formless. We say that Krishna is form. So, what? How do we understand? All this is only through the association of devotees, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, proper scrutiny of the Shastras, Upanishads, and Vedas. When we understand minutely and start connecting the dots, you will see that the Supreme Lord is a supreme human being. When I say supreme human being, he has a two-handed form, but He has amazing, unlimited potencies and powers, which we cannot even think of. So many acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so they have actually commented on all this wonderful Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and they have actually given us this Archamurti, or the Archana of the deities, which is equivalent to actually the Sachidananda Vigraha, the original form of the Lord. So in the temples, when we see the deities, they are not ordinary forms; they actually can reciprocate. So we'll understand many things about the deities and the deity worship when we actually go to Vrindavan. And the trip during the trip, we will try to understand and completely immerse in understanding the confidential things about the deities, confidential things about the Lord. That is why when we visit such holy dham, it gives us impetus to understand more and more in depth about the transcendental nature. And the more we understand the transcendental nature, we also understand the material nature of the Lord. It's very, very simple, right? So, with this, we will take up another very interesting verse, that is the next verse, verse number 12. So, Dave, you can unmute yourself. So let us chant the next verse. It's very interesting verse again, because what happens is, now, what if I consider that he is a human being? Then there is no anartha, right? Some people may think that I consider him as a human being, and still there might be no anartha. I'm not. It is not an offense or anything like that. So that Krishna is going to clarify in this particular verse, that is 9.12. मोघाश मोघ कर्माणो
मोघकर्माणो
मोघज्ञानविचेतसः
मोघज्ञानविचेतसः
राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव
राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव
प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः.
प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः
Once again, मोघाशा मोघकर्माणो
मोघासा मोघकर्माणो
मोघज्ञानविचेतसः
मोघज्ञानविचेतसः
राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव
राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव
प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः.
प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रितः.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Those who are thus bewildered are attacked by demoniac and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Hare Krishna.
So very interesting here. Very important words also. Here we are supposed to understand that how Krishna is saying that Moghasha. So these people who think that anyway, I can call him as a human being, what big deal? So such people, when they think that Krishna is a human being, then Moghasha, all their asha is bewildered, they're baffled in their hopes. And Mogha Karmana, what does that mean? Baffled in fruitive activities also. So their activities they do, they are more entangling. The karma that they perform is more and more entangling. And at the same time, all their hopes are baffled. Moghasha, Mogha Karmano, Mogha Jnana. Their knowledge is also baffled. So their hopes are baffled, their karma is baffled, their intelligence or their knowledge is also baffled. Vichetasaha. Vichetasaha means bewildered, they're completely bewildered. Just because you do not understand the nature of Krishna, see, your hopes, your karma, and your knowledge, everything is bewildered. That is why, if you see, most of the time when in this material world, people are trying to create some solutions to the material problems, that solution itself becomes another problem, isn't it? Any solution they take, today there is a lot of communication problem. That's why they created the mobile phones. Now the mobile phones came, then there is a radiation problem. Then the radiation problem is there. Then they say that now because of we will go with internet. Now internet is there, then people are constantly busy binge watching, and they are spoiling their health and eyes. And see, you see, every solution is giving some problem. So moghasha, mogha karma, mogha jnana, completely bewildered all the time. Why this is happening like that? Because their swabhava is like that. Why are they not understanding the transcendental nature of the Lord? Because their swabhava is rakshasim asurim chaiva. So they are demoniac in nature. Their swabhava is like Shishupala and Dantavakra. You know, swabhava is to have dvesha against the Lord, dvesha towards the Lord. They are envious of the Lord. As long as that dvesha is there, that rakshasim asurim chaiva, then there is no question of transcendental nature. Those who are sattvic in nature, not rakshasim, those who are sattvic, they can actually understand the transcendental nature. So, because their swabhava is like that, many times, oh, so many times, Prabhuji, I have been trying to make that person understand about Krishna, Krishna consciousness, but he's not understanding. Why? Because Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva. They may look very polished by their appearance and clothes and all that they do externally, but internally, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva. Their swabhava internally is to, I am the Lord. There is nothing called as God. That nature is there. That is the nature of Rakshasim, Rakshasas and Asuras. That I am the Lord. They think like that. So many people, they speak very polished English language or that language or any language. They look very polished in their clothes. They look sophisticated. They talk very nicely. Uh, all that might be there. But what is their swabhava? Swabhava is, I am the great. I am the Lord of everything. I am the controller. I am the Ishvara. So that Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva is because Prakritim Mohinim Shritaha. They are actually attracted by the false illusory energy, the Prakriti, and that binds them again and again. So they are into that illusion that I am the supreme controller. And with that Rakshasim Asurim Bhava, that Swabhava, that actually baffles their hopes, their karma, and their jnana. They're completely bewildered. Vichetasaha. See? But if you understand Krishna, everything becomes so crystal clear in life. What to do, what not to do, what is right, what is wrong. It becomes so clear. Anything that pleases Krishna is right, anything that displeases Krishna is wrong. So simple. And just by doing so, you yourself will see that Satchidananda feeling is coming into you. Because you're connecting with Satchidananda Vigraha, that same feeling of Satchidananda experience is going to come to you. That's why the devotees are always joyful. They're always very blissful. Why? This is because that Satchidananda feeling is there inside. They're very, very always satisfied and very pleasant. Why? Because they're in contact with the Supreme Lord. Right? So this is how we should understand these verses. In fact, 13th verse also is very similar, but we will continue that in the next session. So there are many things that Krishna is going to reveal in this chapter 9 about his transcendental nature. So now he's telling that how he's differentiating the Asurim Bhava, how demonic people think, and how the devotees think about him. So he is not having a material body, he's having a transcendental body, and his prakriti is under his control. So, all these things, when you understand, it becomes easy to surrender to the Lord. All these aspects, when we understand clearly, our surrenderance to the Lord, our devotion to the Lord will increase. When you know that such a powerful material nature is under His control, and I am trying to serve that Supreme Lord, isn't it that itself should make us happy? You know, serving the Supreme Lord who is controlling the material nature, and I'm serving that Lord. Oh my God, this itself should make us so happy that I am getting in touch with that Supreme Lord. And He's reciprocating also to the minute details, everything He reciprocates. Actually, in my own experience, in the last just 2 months since I have been here in the temple, when you're engaged in services, many times you forget so many things. You forget to take prasadam on time, and sometimes you don't take many things on time, doesn't happen personally. So many times it has occurred to me. In fact, what is happening now, I have made a note, I have a separate note, and this note, I keep it as a note of reciprocations. Now, every day, what is happening for me, I have note of all the transcendental reciprocations from the Lord and with the date. So, 22nd June, I'll just read out a few things. So, no, I was actually craving for sweet for dinner. It was so many morning, everything, a lot of work. And believe it or not, that night, when I was so much craving for sweet, one wonderful devotee, his name is Kulashekar Prabhu, who is my god brother, he came and gave me one nice balusha at that time. You know, that is on 22nd June. It's very, very nice. Actually, I thank the Lord every time when such reciprocations are happening. And then on 1st July again, I desired for Mahaprasadam again, and Jagannath reciprocated that day because we have a Jagannath deity. We got very nice Mahaprasadam. And I wanted to sing because long time, I was not doing any kirtans. And suddenly, there was one devotee, Pujari, there was nobody else to sing the Aarti during the Aarti. So he gave me the mic and then I started singing. So I can just go on. There are so many things like that. I'm making a note because just maybe I should not think that the Lord is not reciprocating. These notes will help me in future to just go back. The small desire, it may be appearing very small. I just desire and the Lord fulfills. So when you make a note of this, I was just thinking at the end of the year, when I just go through, I have the feeling that yes, Lord is not, kept me away. He's always taking care of me nicely. These reciprocations are very important. Devotees have to make a note of all these things. Of course, you can also make it is very important because you will know that there is a connection developing with the Lord. The Lord is not impersonal, the deity is not impersonal. He is sensing all your desires. So when you have such things at the point of death, when you just look into this, you have a satisfaction. The Lord has reciprocated so much. It gives you inspiration. Sometimes when you are down, when you are totally, you get bewildered by sometimes or you're disturbed by something, just take out these notes and then you start reading them and you see that, oh my Lord, so many times you have reciprocated. Now also you protect me. You will also fulfill my desires. So Yogakshemam Vahamyam. It's very nice. And last few days, I have not even been able to make note of because so many times such reciprocations are happening that I have not noted down. Actually, I have to remember and note down all these things because these are not minute things. These are not small things. The reciprocation from the Lord is very special for a devotee. So we should keep them closer to our heart. So we should make a note of it. Note of it because we should not forget it. We should not forget all these small reciprocations of the Lord. You understand? So when you are engaged in the service, the Lord will reciprocate always. So like this. So there are many things that will come up. There are many things that the Lord will help us in growing in our spiritual life. So if you have any questions, you can please feel free to ask any questions.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Dave.
can you tell what is the difference in prasadam and mahaprasadam?
Prasadam is that bhoga. What we offer to the Lord is called bhoga. So when we offer that to the Lord and the Lord accepts it, then it becomes prasadam. But that prasadam, when it is taken by pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, it is offered to him, or the nice, wonderful devotees, the elevated, advanced devotees, when they take that prasadam and then it comes to us, then it is Mahaprasadam. Directly coming from the Lord, it is prasadam. But when it comes through the devotee, then it becomes Mahaprasadam. So that is why when we actually take Here, we first offer it to the Lord, it becomes prasadam, then that is offered to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada takes that prasadam of Krishna and then he gives his Mahaprasadam. So that is how we take Mahaprasadam every day. So this is how, yeah,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
good. So today evening, 5 o'clock, we will meet again. It will be a short session at 5 o'clock. Just a little brief intro on our Vrindavan Dham Yatra. That will not be on this StreamYard. It will be on Zoom. So you can all take up that link and you can join the Zoom link. And we will have a short orientation program at 5 o'clock. Okay. All right then. So please take care. And until then, keep chanting.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. You said something?
She said
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
All right. Take care then, all of you. Take care. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Dev. Achyutanji, Hare Krishna. Vinodji, Hare Krishna.